Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by for another video. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but please feel free to call me SRP if you'd like. And yeah, before we begin here, just want to say thanks for all the support for this year. This has probably been about 3 months or so that I've been doing content for Star Wars Unlimited, and I really appreciate the kindness and the support very much. And again, I keep doing this. Just was editing something, so sorry. Anyway, if you could please consider liking and subscribing, because it definitely would help me out quite a bit. And I wanted to revisit one of my favorite decks, and it's kind of a pet deck, and I think it's actually pretty good at this point now. But we're going to go over Kylo Double Red for the set 2 Kylo with Tarkintown. And let's go over the changes here. It's really good. It's very aggressive. If you're looking for something fast, this is absolutely your deck. And I think it's got a pretty interesting sideboard as well too. So let's kind of jump in and take a look at what we've got here. This was the first showcase I ever opened to, and I think it was just pretty awesome at the time. I still love it. It's got a special place in my heart. So anytime that I get a chance to show it off, I like to. So what do we get with Kylo? Kylo is a aggression villainy. We're playing this in double aggression. Has an action where we can exhaust him and discard a card from our hand and give a unit +2/+0. And the backside deploys on 4, and it's a 5/4. However, the backside, when it's deployed, it gets -1/-0 for each card in your hand. Hence, we want to try to get down to as few cards as possible in our hand with Kylo when we play him. We're pairing that with Tarkintown. We've got a couple different ways that we can ping things and kill it, but this is primarily if opponent runs into something, we can Tarkintown and kill it if we need to. If you'd prefer to run a 30 hit point base, you're certainly more than welcome to do so. It's completely up to you. It's your preference. Just what I have here is Tarkintown. I like it. Now we've got 12 1-drops in here and a lot of 2-drops. So we're going to just kind of go through everything quickly. Again, this is just extremely aggressive. Benthic 2 Tubes was probably the least bad of the 1-cost 2/2s that I could find that I wanted to go with. This one is 1-cost 2/2 and aggression on attack. Another friendly aggression unit gains raid 2 for this phase. So the idea is we get in with this first, give something else raid 2. Something like, let's say, the Death Star Stormtrooper, which would then be attacking for 5 if it lives. Speaking of the Death Star Stormtrooper, it's a 1-cost 3/1 in aggression villainy. No stats on it or abilities or anything. Just a good way to get in a bunch of damage. Not necessarily great against the ping leaders like Quinlan or CAD, things like that will kill them right away. But overall, it's definitely solid. It's been around since that one. It's a great card. Got 3 copies of Quavian Antagonizer. 1-cost 2/3. This one's got a bounty on it, but it's aggression villainy, and it's got Saboteur, and the bounty is draw a card. So when it's defeated, our opponent gets to draw a card from it being defeated. Mr. Bones. I love Mr. Bones. He's a cool dude. And he actually does trigger in this deck. I have seen it trigger, and it's pretty glorious, especially if we can get a whole bunch of stuff on the ground to kind of make our opponent have to start targeting things. If Mr. Mr. Bones, I should say, give his proper respect. So 1-cost 3/1, double aggression on attack. If you have no cards in hand, no cards, you can deal 3 damage to a ground unit, and this happens quite frequently with this leader because I've had times where I've discarded my last card to give him +2/+0, and then I attack with him for 5, and I kill something on the ground. It's pretty glorious. We've got 3 copies of Daring Raid to complete our quintet of 1-drops here. Deals 2 damage to a unit or a base. Pretty simple, but it's a good way to kind of deal with something with Tarkintown. Or if you're not running that, if you decide to go with a 30 hit point base, just a good way to get 2 extra damage onto something. Our 2-drops have really increased quite a bit. We've got 2 good 3/3s for 2, one of them being double red Bo-Katan, and she's pretty great. She's got 2 cost 3/3 double aggression when defeated for each player with 15 or more damage on their base. Draw a card, that's her when defeated. So you could draw 2 cards off of her if we've got 15 and our opponent's got 15. Plus it's a 3/3 for 2, so it's pretty solid. We've got the other Bo-Katan in here that you don't really see much. It's not particularly great, that's why I've only got 2 copies. She can't trigger off of herself, and I'll explain that. It's a 2 cost on aggression, villainy, 2/3. While you control another Mandalorian unit, this unit gains Overwhelm and Saboteur. And while you control another Trooper unit, this unit gets +1/+0. Since we've got another Mandalorian in here with Clan Ordo, and then the other Bo-Katan is also a Mandalorian, it's a better chance of triggering now. We've got 6 other units potentially. It's not great, but primarily what we really want is Trooper, and we're stacked with Troopers in here. So it's going to usually get the +1/+0. So most of the time you can count on this being a 3/3. If you've got the other Mandalorian, the Overwhelm and Saboteur are kind of just icing on the cake. We've got 3 copies of HK-47, 2 costs 2/4 when an enemy unit is defeated. Deal 1 damage to its controller's base. Pretty simple and straightforward, just a great way to get extra damage. And it's the 4 health is pretty significant for him as well. With Kylo, we've got Kylo's TIE Silencer. Just another way that we can discard this if we want to and play it from our discard pile. It's a 2 cost aggression villainy, 3/2 and space. And it has an action. If this unit was discarded from your hand or deck this phase, you can play it from your discard pile, paying its cost. So just if we don't have anything to do, we can discard this, give something +2/+0 with Kylo, and then play the Silencer from the discard pile. Following out the other 2 cost space unit, that's a 3/2 mercenary gunship. A little bit more risky, but it's good for the early pressure. It's colorless, it doesn't have an aspect, so anybody can play it. But an opponent can pay 4 and take control of this unit. Any player may play this ability. So just something to be mindful of. Normally, you want to attack with this first in case your opponent steals it, if you have got the initiative, that is. And then if they steal, who cares? It's exhausted. You can always steal it back if you need to. Migs is extremely important in this deck. Probably the best 2-drop in this list for sure. 2 cost and aggression, 2/2. When a player discards a card from their hand, you may deal 2 damage to a unit or base. Use this ability only once each round. Note that this says a player. It doesn't say that it's us. It doesn't say it's opponent. It's either of us. So if either player does that, we can trigger this, but only exactly 1 time. So keep that in mind. So it's a great card. It helps get rid of stuff, especially with like a Daring Raid. We can pretty much take out most mid-range stuff with MiGs, especially in the early game. Another really good ad that I'm super impressed with in here so far is Cyril Karn. It's a 2 cost, 2/3 aggression villainy. On attack, we can disclose aggression, villainy. That shouldn't be a problem. This is double aggression. And if we do, we get to choose a unit, deal 2 damage to that unit unless its controller discards a card from their hand. So we either get to deal 2 damage to something with its on attack, or our opponent discards a card. Either way, it's a win for us, really. Either way, we'd rather have our opponent have less options or kill something. It's just as good, but definitely very good in this list for sure. Warrior of Clan Ordo is, again, pretty amazing. We talked about it just a little bit with Bo-Katan before, but this is the other 2 cost, 3/3, and the downside on this is almost never going to happen unless we're just stuck with Mercenary Gunship in our hand, which I think is pretty unlikely, but 2 cost, aggression, 3/3. On attack, we can disclose aggression from our hand. If you don't, deal 2 damage to your base. Again, I can't imagine a time that we would not be able to trigger this. Just in case, you can attack with it first if you'd like, if you're afraid that somebody's going to make you discard a card or something. It's very fringe play. We've got 2 copies of Battle Fury, which is another great card I really like, and it's especially great with Kylo. 2 cost aggression villainy, +3/+3 on the unit, so really nice stats. Attached unit gains on attack, discard a card from your hand. So something to be mindful of. Kylo's trying to get empty-handed anyway. This just kind of improves that. Between that and our Fallen Lightsaber, we've got a bunch of nice upgrades that kind of really push our units' power through the roof, so to speak. Battle Fury is awesome on 2, if we can get it, and do ideally 1-drop Battle Fury, and it's pretty bonkers. Or we can just do a 2-drop and then Battle Fury on the following turn. Obviously, you want to be mindful of the power of the dark side decks. We've got 3 copies of Fifth Brother, just because we've got a lightsaber we're going to talk about here in a minute. We want to have something that can wield it successfully. Same with the next unit here, but this is a 3-cost 2/4. This unit gains raid 1 for each damage on him. It's essentially it's grit. I don't know why they didn't word it as grit, but that's basically what it is. And on attack, you may deal 1 damage to this unit and 1 damage to another ground unit. Very, very useful. And worst case scenario, we just get in with extra damage from the raid and use its ping ability. Penultimately, we've got Grand Inquisitor, 3 copies, 3 cost aggression villainy, 3/4 with hidden, so it can't be attacked the turn it comes into play. Raid 1 is also great, and other friendly Inquisitor units gain hidden. So if we happen to play another Fifth Brother, that's the only other Inquisitor in here. That'll also gain hidden. Fringe upside, I suppose. It's not doesn't really come up, but on the occasion that it does, great. That's not really why we're playing it, though. And lastly, our final card in the main is 3 copies of Fallen Lightsaber from set 1, 3 cost, aggression, villainy, +3/+3, attached to a non-vehicle unit. We don't have that drawback on Battle Fury, by the way. It can be any unit. Fallen Lightsaber, if attached unit is a force unit, it gains on attack, deal 1 damage to each ground unit the defending player controls. So our leader's a force unit, and we've got these also as force units. The Fifth Brother and Grand Inquisitor will count. Don't believe there's... Oh, yeah. Force. Darn, that's Sith. That would have been really cool if it triggered off of HK, but either way, onto the sideboard. We got some pretty sweet tech in the sideboard, I think. So 2 copies of Confiscate for anything that's running a lot of upgrades that we just need to get rid of. I was going to do the ship, the Fang Fighter, but I figured we want to try to stay as low to the ground as possible. A lot of decks now are doing card draw, and I wanted to do 3 copies of Chairman Papanoida in here since we're running double red anyway. This card is really cool because it can potentially let us go super, super wide against those decks that are drawing cards. I don't believe that we really have a way to do that, but kind of one of the neat synergies in here is if we happen to run a Guavian Antagonizer into something and it dies, the bounties draw a card, so Papanoida will trigger. And this is when a player draws 1 or more cards during the action phase, we can disclose aggression. If you do, you get to create a spy token. For those decks that like to draw cards, this card is insane against that. And for a 2/6, it's going to stick on the board for at least 2 turns. So definitely really like this card a lot in the sideboard. It's very close to putting it in the main, but decided against it. I think it's better on the side. 3 copies of Chaos of War for those decks that are trying to be very controlling and to draw lots of cards. And looking at you, Dedra. I know Dedra's not super popular right now, but there are some decks that do draw lots of cards, and this is a great way to punish them. 3-cost event and double aggression. And it says deal damage to each player's base equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. Kind of forgotten about card, but it's I think it's more prevalent now. I think it actually could do something now. So these are the against the control decks. You want to bring that in, get a bunch of damage on them. Should be able to flood the board, and then one Chaos of War should take care of everything. Pillage, we've got 2 copies, 4 cost and aggression. Choose a player. That player discards 2 cards from their hand. Just confirm. Yep, choose a player. So we could target ourselves if we needed to with Kylo. Don't think that's going to come up very often, but you could do that. And that's Double Red Kylo. It's kind of been my pet deck for some time. Like I said, I got that showcase of it some time back, and I've always really liked playing it. So that's the list. It's super aggressive, so feel free to give it a try. And if you do, leave a comment down below. Tell me how you like it. Tell me what you would change, things that you like, things that you don't like. Let me know. Definitely appreciate it. Either way, just wanted to say thanks for stopping by. May the Force be with you, my friends. Sincerely appreciate you being here and coming by. Really, honestly, genuinely mean that. Means a lot that you take time out of your schedule to hang out here. Holidays are coming up as well, so I do Christmas, so Merry Christmas to those that do Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Solemn Ramadan. I'm not sure the proper saying, but I hope it's a peaceful Ramadan. If you celebrate that, or whatever the case may be, hope that the holidays are treating you good. Just wanted to say thanks for stopping by. Hope you're well. Take care, my friends. Be well.